Hi, in today's video I'm gonna talk about RHT03 sensor, which is actually humidity and the temperature sensor from SparkFun. It is also known as DHT22 or similar names. It is very low cost sensor that you can have in your applications. So RHT is humidity and the temperature sensor. It has single wire data interface and it doesn't require any calibration. This means that there are some sensors in the market that needs a calibration, and what they do measure is the difference between calibrated value and the measured value. This one is pre-calibrated in the factory, so it doesn't require any calibration. And for this sensor there is a custom library provided by a manufacturer, in this case SparkFun. And what we're gonna do now is connect the sensor and read the data and output the data to the serial monitor. And the data is obviously temperature and humidity. Okay, let's begin. Start up Visual Studio Code. With the particle I already have a project, and let's search for the library. Go for find library and type here RHT. RHT would be enough. And here in the list you have SparkFun RHT03. Copy this and paste this in a command called install library. Which library? The one that you have just copied. Once the library is installed, check the lib folder and you have the examples here. You can actually copy all of these to your source file. So I'm gonna copy and paste over my existing code. We will analyze the code. However, we are now searching a way to connect the sensor. And the sensor is this. This is RHT03 or DHT22. It actually says, if you can read here, it says DHT22. In order to connect this sensor, in a specification it says that it's a single wire for the data. Of course, it requires the power source from the ground and VCC. And in the comment section of this example, it says, looking at the front grated side of RHT03, the pin out is as follows. So number one is VCC, the second pin is data, the third one is skipped, you do not connect the third one, and the fourth one is the ground. Take your board and let's connect our sensor here. I will just bend this, you don't have to, so you can see the pins. You can actually make a mistake by connecting next to the pin because the sensor is wider than the pins. So the first one, when you're looking from the front, is VCC, and the VCC goes to 3.3 here or on the other side. The next one is the data, and we will connect this data, let's say, on a D2, pin D2, and the last pin, the fourth one, is the ground, and I'm gonna connect this to the ground pretty on the other side. I could have used the first. I will just use the pins much closer so the wires don't extend to that much and bend. There. The connection is as shown here. I will connect the board to the PC and head here to the code. Let's just check if the pin is right. No, you see here in the section pin definition it says D3. You can either switch back to D3 or change to D2 as I have it in my setup. Control Shift P and choose Cloud Flash TD1. Cloud flashing is amazing. It's also called over-the-air update. It literally sends the data over the wireless to the board from the server, from the cloud, particle cloud, to the board itself. And it's already flashed, and we can actually see the data. If you choose Ctrl+Shift+P, you have a serial monitor, or let me just choose yes. And the data should be, I'm just gonna hit reset to see if something went wrong. Put it on data. Yeah, I hit reset, now it's okay. You can actually see the temperature now in the lab is 25 degrees Celsius, and humidity is surprisingly pleasantly 39.9%, which is fine. So let's check the code, how this works. Well, as like with any, of course we have the include and the pin declarations, and we have an object creation. The object name is RHT in this case, and the library name, library class, is RHT03 with capital letters. And we also have the begin that needs to be called in the setup, that is actually initializing all the requirements for the sensor to operate. And in the loop, we call each loop, we call RHT update, and if the update is 1, it means that the data is updated. So we have new values for the humidity, temperature, and so on. And this library has RHT, temp-C, temp-F, and humidity, which is a float function that returns a float value of the latest humidity, temperature in Celsius, and temperature in Fahrenheit. And this example just prints those to the serial monitor in a formatted way. If there is no update, it means that the loop was called too frequent. We have some extra delay. This is 1 second, and the actual delay is also 1 second between each reads of the sensor, because sometimes if you read too fast, it takes time for the sensor to get the values. It will return 0. It means that the update has failed. That's why they also have this extra delay. If it failed, it's kind of like a back off, saying wait a bit more for the sensor. And of course you can go into code and so on, but I want to show you something. It's the data. I have here oscilloscope. It's a rather old one. I'm just gonna pick 2 wires. I will show you how to see the data, how the data looks, how the temperature looks on a wire. There. I did connect this to the data pin, and let me just bring this closer to the screen. This is it. This is the data on the wire being sent each second. I will freeze this. So in essence, this is low and high and changes. I have no idea what kind of modulation is this. I have no idea what kind of data is being transmitted here. But the manufacturer knows, and the manufacturer has made the library that is reading this kind of ups and downs, highs and lows, in some kind of format. Of course, if you want to know more, if you want to dig deeper into this, you can actually see, of course, the library itself, the source code for the library, and of course you can see many examples or define or explore the protocol, which is kind of a cool idea to have, to understand the data. So this is a single wire interface of a protocol for RHT03 or DHT22. I hope you learned something today, and at least you know how to measure the temperature and humidity of the air, of the environment. See you next video. Bye.